The woman in our gospel today was someone unknown to Jesus and the apostles. We never find out her name or really know much about her. What we know is that she lived in the area where Jesus and the apostles were traveling, and she had a daughter possessed by a demon. This woman wasn't a follower of Jesus. She was described as a Canaanite, people who worshiped idols and were considered enemies of God's people, the Israelites. We believe she lived in the town where Jesus was passing through, so that's why we believe her to be a Canaanite. But she came out to ask Jesus to heal her daughter, knowing she had no standing with Jesus. But she came out and called to him. She kept calling to Jesus, telling him of her daughter. But Jesus, rather uncharacteristically of him, ignored her. Even the apostles asked him if he wanted them to send her away. After all, she wasn't anyone they would have ever associated with. Then Jesus said to her that he was here only for the lost sheep of Israel. In other words, she didn't have the right heritage for him to minister to. So she paid Jesus some kind of homage, like bowing to him. What Jesus said then was even more insulting than ignoring her. He said he would not take the food from the children, that is, the children of God, or the Israelites, to feed the dogs. She didn't even seem to falter, though. She just used that statement to try to win Jesus over, saying that even those not being the children of God, the dogs, should also receive the goodness of God, the scraps that fall from the table. She had persisted, and Jesus knew she made her point. He complimented her by addressing her great faith, and he healed her daughter. The woman had undoubtable faith that Jesus would heal her daughter, and she persisted. She did not give up. She reached out over and over to Jesus with that faith, and her petition was answered. This woman, she was faithful, and we should learn from her faith in a way at each Mass, because we have the prayer of the faithful after the Creed, where we make our petitions to God. We ask God for our wants, our intentions. The woman was petitioning Jesus for her daughter and did so unrelentingly. We too make our prayers during Mass and also each time we pray by ourselves. So how many times do we have to ask Jesus for something we want before we receive it? If it takes a long time, do we begin to doubt our faith in Jesus? If our faith begins to wane because we have not received what we've asked for, do we then turn our backs on God, our church, each other? Have we ever lost any amount of faith because we believe our petitions are not being answered? In our world today, it seems we live with everything at our fingertips. If we want to watch a particular movie now, we don't have to go to the theater. We just turn on Netflix. If we want a particular food, we don't have to go grocery shopping. We call a delivery service. We want everyone to know what we are doing at this moment. We can get on Instagram. So in our world of wanting it done now, why doesn't God answer our prayers now? Doesn't he know how rapid a pace this world moves today? The immediacy we have to get it done now? Well, maybe we should remember a simple acronym. PUSH. Pray until something happens. We should know we are all like that woman in today's gospel. We too are people who want something from God, and we're like everyone else in that sense. We're children to the Father asking for help. Like Jesus in today's gospel, he may make us wait for a time, so we need to persevere in our asking. We need to be faithful that his help will come, not turn our backs and walk away or just give up. We don't get anything that way. The woman in the gospel was persistent in her faith that Jesus would answer. Push. Pray until something happens. Today also was the Feast of the Assumption, where we believe that the mother of Jesus, our spiritual mother, Mary, was taken up to heaven, body and soul. In memorial of this feast, we can look at Mary's perseverance at raising her son. She had to flee to a new land just before giving birth, and not even being able to give birth in a clean, safe surrounding. Then she had to flee again to avoid the emperor's jealousy. She had to find Jesus when lost at the temple, and the ultimate struggle, his passion and death. It seems when we need to push through something, Mary is an example for us all. Pray until something happens.